I'm Aaron Jackson, and I'm the sports editor at the East Carolinian.
I'm Ty Gavin, the copy editor.
I'm Chase Carroll, sports chief.
I'm Rob Romero, baseball reporter.
I'm Daniel Roberts, baseball reporter.
This is TECsperts.
Welcome back to another week of Baseball TECsperts. Today we'll talk about the games over the weekend, including the University of Washington series and the shutout against Elon University. We'll preview this weekend series against the University of South Florida and the Duke midweek game next week. So here we are. The Pirates are 25-7. They have cracked the top 10 in the national rankings and they are now number 7 in the country. Is there too much hype around this team?
No, there's not too much hype. This team has not yet lost a series, and they're playing the American Conference. They've played great opponents. They played UNC, they've played Wichita State, they played UCF. They've come out on top against all of them. And behind the dominant pitching of Chris Holba and Tyler Smith, Chris Holba's 7-0, Tyler Smith's 5-0. This team's for real right now, and they're not too overhyped, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't think that hype is getting back to him either. I think Coach Godwin is a man, keeps that team behind closed doors. He's worried about what this program's worried about doing. And I remember this panel's biggest criticism was that ECU hadn't really played too many tough opponents early. Well, now they have. They've beaten everyone they're supposed to beat, and I think all their hype's very well earned.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to let you off the hook like that. Why did you go into the Washington series picking them to lose that series?
I thought a 3,000-mile trip would be a lot to handle. Going to play a tough Pac-12 team that's been very hot as of late.
So the sickness may have actually gotten your head.
Got in my head. It was a head sickness more than anything. I'm glad that the Pirates proved me wrong, though. They deserve to be top 10.
Well, they absolutely do because I thought going into the trip, I didn't think that trip was going to affect them because I think they love that challenge. They've shown that they love that challenge because in Game 3s all year, when the series is tied and the series they've won, they've always come back because they love that pressure when they come in. And that's just the big difference of this team. They love the pressure. They want to respond to it, and they want to show the rest of the conference that this is theirs.
So talking about having the series tied and ECU coming back to win, do you think the Pirates play better under pressure when they are 1-1 on the weekend?
I think they do because that is like the turning point that Godwin wanted. We talked about the day-by-day process. This is what he means by that. He wants to forget about the bad days when they've lost, and they want to come out the next day and showcase that day was just in the past. That this is a new day. They want to show, like against Wichita State, that even though they got blown out in the first game, they want to show we're not going to go down that easy. Same thing with USF, and same thing against Washington. Another thing that's going really well for this team is at this point they're getting healthier because Brian Packard has been on a tear lately, and he's back healthy. Turner Brown's looking healthier, so was Duanye. So this team going together, they played well without all those guys, and now that they're back, they have more confidence than ever that with them they can really makes more damage.
I think anytime you back a motivated team up and you put their backs against the wall, of course they're going to come out harder. They come out swinging, and ACU's proven that in every Game 3 so far.
Even on the road. Against Elon, Jake Agnos held his part up, and he got the win, shutting out the Phoenix 3-0. But was there anything else to take away from that game?
Personally, I feel like that's the big takeaway of the game is how well he played, considering Trey Benton's really kind of been struggling lately. Right? They do say that they still have confidence in Trey Benton, but if he does continue to struggle, we may need a third guy behind Smith and Holba. So I feel like if he can continue to really play well, that's going to be big for the Pirates.
And that's where Jake started the season.
Right.
But what I saw was that ECU is supposed to beat up on a team like Elon, right? Everyone thinks that this top 17, it's 1-0 in the 7th inning. And the Pirates figure out a way to scratch 2 more runs across the board, kind of blow it open to 3-0, and figure out a way to get home, get that win, and now get ready to play USF. So I like the way that they were able to fight.
Another thing I did see in that game, the defense did held up. There was a few times in the game where Elon had maybe 2 runners on base and 1 out, and ECU got out of that inning. And I think that's very good going on with the Pirates. With all these wins for the Pirates, is that more of a motivation, or is it something that the Pirates may feel pressure to keep winning?
Well, I said that I think Cliff Godwin keeps this team, and he keeps his voice in this team's ear the whole time. I don't think these rankings, what we're saying about him, what other teams are saying about him, I don't think this gets to the team. So I think that they're motivated because of these top 10 rankings, but I think they're more motivated to host a regional like they were talking about all last year and finally get to reach Omaha.
That goes with what you said. Obviously, I don't believe that they're thinking about this at all. They never talk about what they think about the rankings. They go out just like it's a new day, and that's going to be huge for them going forward. To when they host, I'm not hosting them all, but when they host these regional games, conference games, they're going to have the same mentality they've had all year. They're not going to think of it as any different. They're just going to know that okay, we're in the conference, we're in the regionals, and they're going to still have the same mentality going forward. They're not going to see it as one game, but they're going to know how to respond to it by way they performed all season.
Switching gears to this week's games, USF is 21-12. What obstacles may they have for the Pirates?
Well, USF's batting has just been lights out all year. I mean, 7 guys in that line were batting over 300, and they lead the conference just about every offensive category in batting average, runs batted in, doubles, hits, runs scored. So, I went insane. Trey Benn is the most important player because the Pirates have won 12 of the last 15 games. The only reason they lost is because Ben hasn't performed to his expectations. Now, in regard, the offense hasn't also came back to support him that way. But at the same time, if he goes out and pitches light out, because he needs to be his A game if he wants to contain the USF offense, as well as Smith and Hoba, who are presumed to start.
USF also has a pretty good bullpen. They have 3 guys that in their bullpen with a under 2 ERA. So they have guys that can come in if their back or their starters are struggling and really come in and get them out of jams.
If I could talk about what you were talking about, of course the hits, the batting average, home runs, they jump off the board, but USF also ranks second to last in least amount of walks with only 113. ECU's got 126, which isn't that much more, but they're also third in the conference in strikeouts, so they are a big swing and miss team. They're going to be looking to put the ball in play, and like you talked about with this defense, they haven't made too many errors. I think that could really play well for ECU.
ECU will be facing in-state rival Duke University, who's 28-7, and they have a similar record to the Pirates, and they have a similar offense, being able to produce runs, RBIs, home runs, all of that. But how will the Pirates fare?
I have them losing the game to Duke, but I just think this is where they're going to get their struggles out of the way mid-season and really correct it. But other than that, I think they're just going to struggle in this one game in particular against a good ACC opponent in Duke.
If you're going to call our struggles losing to a top 25 team on the road, that's pretty good struggles to have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do also have ECU losing because I'm just going to assume that's going to be Duke's night because they're going to be in Durham. They're going to want to because they're playing against another Carolina team. They want to kind of send them a little message that it's still kind of a Duke stay whatever they want, whatever they think. But also since after Duke, the next week in the midweek game, they're also playing NC State, which is another top 25 team. So they're playing number 4, exactly. They're not top 5, so they're going to be playing 2 top 25 teams, top 5 in midweeks instead of just weekends. So those are going to be tough games. They're going to be state rivals, and I don't think they're going to fall under pressure or anything. I just think since they're both going to be away for ECU, it's going to be hard for them to overcome.
Quick question: who has been ECU's most consistent player? Not best, but consistent.
Call us off guard with this question.
I'm personally gonna say, Chris Holba pitching. I'm gonna say Bryant Packard. Although he's been out with injury, he's got our best batting average at 400. He has 38 hits, 7 home runs, 26 RBIs. I mean, he's really done it all for the Pirates this year, and I feel like when he's been in the game, he has been consistent.
As consistent wise, I know I'm gonna go with Brady Lloyd because Brian Pack has been injured, but Brady Lloyd has just been huge. Just getting on base has been his big thing. I mean, he didn't have a good season in Washington. He batting under 400 now, but he was batting 440 last week. He's not a power guy, but he's a guy who bats first or second in the lineup to get on base, leading in on base percentage. So he's a guy who really gets things started for the Pirate offense.
And so you talk about batters, and you mentioned Chris Holba. Chris, if you're watching this, congratulations on being named to the midweek award list. But I'm going to pick Ryan Ross because we talk about the bullpen a lot and how dominant it's been. And Ryan's made 16 appearances now out of the bullpen. Opponents are batting 161 against him. He's only let up 3 doubles, nothing beyond that. I think he's just been a doorstopper for ECU. If someone like Jake or someone like Trey, when they get in trouble, they bring in Ryan and he slows the game down. And then having a left-handed pitcher who can do that is key.
It is. Now, on to predictions. From the left, what does everybody have starting with the USF series?
I have I have ECU winning the series 2-1 because I think the home crowd's going to play a huge advantage in this series. I'm going to pick one game. Maybe it's against Ben because I don't know if he's going to get out of his slump yet, and I don't know if the offense is going to respond with him on the mound yet. So I have ECU winning, and the home crowds will play a huge advantage. And I think the bats of USF are going to come for one game, so I have them taking one. And I just have Duke coming up top because I just think they're just going to play better that day.
So I also have ECU winning 2-1. I think bats always show up. I think USF is going to come in here and show that they can hit the ball. They're going to knock it around Clark LeClaire. But with the starting pitching and with the bullpen depth, I think ECU definitely has the upper hand. I'm very nervous about watching Shane McClanahan pitch Friday night. He's looked like a dominant Friday night starter for the Bulls. The only thing that's had me very worried about the Bulls is that they've only played 8 games on the road. They're 3-5 on the road. They don't really have too much, and you come into a rowdy ECU stadium that's now going to be celebrating that their team is top 10. I know the school's been deprived looking for a team to cheer for. I think that the Pirates are definitely going to have an upper hand. And then after the Pirates handle the Bulls, I think they'll go over to Duke and they'll play a really tough game. Bill Chalari, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his last name, has been a very good weekday starter for the Blue Devil. He's 5-0 with a 1.96 ERA. He looks like a weekend starter. The only thing is he doesn't pitch a lot of innings. So it's going to be a lot of bullpen depth, and I think ECU finally makes a run there. My biggest concern with Duke is Jimmy Herron, their leadoff hitter. He has a .415 on base percentage. He's 15 for 16 in stolen bases. He just seems like a torture on the base pass. So if anything, that's what I'm a little nervous about. But I think the Pirates will get out of there with the win.
So every hot streak has to end at some point, right? The Pirates have yet to lose a series this season, and I picked against them multiple times. I'm going to do it again. I think USF is going to come out with the 2-1 series win. But the Pirates, they've done nothing to really show me why they shouldn't win this. I'm strictly picking this because I need to beat you in the standings, and that's
Just
basically it.
If you show up to the games, they're going to lose. So if you want to show up.
So, exactly.
I have ECU losing the series 1-2 like Chase, and I think this may be ECU's first slip-up, but I think it's good if it happens now so they'll get it out their system for later. And then next week, in the midweek clash against Duke, I have ECU winning 1-0, and I only think that's because of in-state rival game. I think there's going to be a little more competition on both sides, but it will be tight. That's it for TECsperts this week. Thank you for watching.